Welcome to our International Student Brief program. Today, we have some significant news as the Small Business Administration, SBA, announces a staggering 43% workforce reduction while also taking on the management of the massive $1.6 trillion student loan program. Critics are raising alarms about the potential chaos this could create for millions of student loan borrowers in the U.S. and the implications for federal student aid programs. In other news, a study from the University of South Australia has revealed that there is no link between the influx of international students and the rising rental crisis in Australia. This research counters the narrative that international students are to blame for increased housing costs, highlighting their distinct housing needs and urging politicians to reconsider their stance on this issue ahead of upcoming elections. Finally, we celebrate the appointment of Dr. Kamal Bhattacharya to the Board of Trustees at World Education Services, WES. With his impressive background in academia and technology, Dr. Bhattacharya is set to enhance WES's mission of supporting immigrants and international students. His commitment to innovative solutions promises to make a positive impact in the field of education. Please continue to watch for detailed content. The Independent reports that the Small Business Administration, SBA, is set to cut its workforce by 43%, eliminating approximately 2,700 jobs, while simultaneously taking on the management of the massive $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio previously overseen by the Department of Education. This decision, announced by agency head Kelly Loeffler, has raised significant concerns about the potential chaos for the 40 million borrowers in the U.S. Critics argue that dismantling the Department of Education could lead to confusion and increased hardships for students and their families, as the SBA may not have the capacity to manage such a monumental task effectively. With Education Secretary Linda McMahon stating that she is collaborating with the SBA on a strategic plan, many are left wondering how this transition will unfold amidst the agency's drastic cuts. In a groundbreaking study reported by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, researchers from the University of South Australia have debunked the myth that international students are responsible for rising rents in Australia. Analyzing extensive data from government sources, the study found no significant correlation between the number of international students and rental prices across major cities. Lead researcher Professor Michael Mu emphasized that international students often have different housing needs than locals, which complicates the narrative that they are driving up costs. The findings challenge politicians who have targeted international students as scapegoats for the housing crisis, highlighting the need for evidence-based discussions rather than political rhetoric as the election approaches. According to the Toronto Star, World Education Services, WES, has appointed Dr. Kamal Bhattacharya to its Board of Trustees, marking a significant step in the organization's ongoing technological transformation. With a diverse background in academia and industry, Dr. Bhattacharya brings valuable expertise to WES, which aims to enhance the educational and economic inclusion of immigrants and international students. His previous roles include Vice Rector for Research at IU International University and Chief Innovation Officer at Safaricom. Expressing his enthusiasm for joining WES, Dr. Bhattacharya emphasized the organization's commitment to using innovative models to improve lives, particularly for vulnerable populations such as refugees and international students. South China Morning Post reports that China's foreign ministry has called on the United States to cease its discriminatory and restrictive measures against Chinese students following a congressional inquiry into their presence at American universities. The ministry's spokesperson, Mao Ning, emphasized that educational cooperation between the two nations is mutually beneficial, enhancing communication and understanding while fostering economic growth. This comes after John Molinar, chair of a House committee, requested detailed information from several universities about their Chinese student populations, citing national security concerns. Such actions have raised alarms about the potential implications for American research and talent, with some universities already severing ties with Chinese institutions as a response to these pressures. New York Times discusses the Federal Reserve's decision to maintain its key interest rate amid a turbulent economic landscape influenced by President Trump's policies. While consumers hoping for lower borrowing costs may need to exercise patience, savers can expect more stable yields on savings accounts. The Fed's benchmark rate currently stands between 4.25 to 4.5%, following a period of aggressive rate hikes aimed at curbing inflation. Despite a cooling of prices, uncertainties surrounding trade and employment policies may delay further rate cuts, while market-driven long-term interest rates continue to decline, affecting various borrowing costs for businesses and consumers alike. South China Morning Post highlights a significant increase in South Korea's foreign resident population, which has reached a record high of 1.56 million. However, many of these individuals face economic hardships, with a large portion earning below the national average and struggling with rising educational costs for their children. A recent survey revealed that nearly half of foreign residents earn between 2 to 3 million won monthly, while the average South Korean worker earns around 3.33 million won. Additionally, challenges in accessing quality education, particularly for children who struggle with the Korean language, have led many families to invest in costly private schooling. The survey also noted that a significant number of foreign residents are Chinese, with a considerable portion being employed in low-wage sectors, reflecting the complexities of integration and economic stability in South Korea. South China Morning Post reports on the Committee of 100, a prominent group of Chinese Americans, who has voiced strong opposition to a proposed bill that would ban Chinese nationals from obtaining student visas to the United States. The committee's chairman, Gary Locke, emphasized that such exclusionary measures are counterproductive and contrary to American values, which have historically thrived on welcoming talent from around the globe. The proposed legislation, known as the Stop CCP Visas Act, aims to prevent Chinese students from entering the U.S. for various academic pursuits, a move that critics warn could exacerbate xenophobia and discrimination against all individuals of Chinese descent in America. The bill, introduced by Republican Riley Moore, is seen as the most sweeping legislation targeting Chinese students to date, potentially fueling tensions amid the ongoing geopolitical rivalry between the U.S. and China. The decline in Chinese students in the U.S., which has seen India surpass China as the leading source of international students, underscores the impact of these policies on educational exchange and collaboration. In another poignant story, the South China Morning Post recounts the life of Du Huzhen, a 103-year-old woman from Guizhou province, who passed away after waiting over 80 years for her husband, Huang Juanfu, to return from military service. Du married Huang in 1940, but their life together was cut short when he left to fight in the Kuomintang army. After giving birth to their son, she supported her family through hard labor while holding on to hope for her husband's return. Despite receiving letters from him until 1952, he never came back, and Du remained steadfast in her commitment to him, rejecting other marriage proposals. Her granddaughter recalls Du's optimistic spirit and dedication to education, instilling values in her family despite the hardships she faced. Du's family made numerous attempts to locate Huang over the years, but to no avail. In her final moments, her granddaughter believes Du found peace, possibly envisioning a reunion with her long-lost husband, and the family vows to continue searching for him and his descendants. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Waking up to wonders, second nature blunders. Got our rockets flying while the oceans are sighing. Lasers in the sky now, holograms we say wow. Quantum leaps and robot science news that we got. Science is awesome, so much to share from the deep sea to the stars out there. Science is awesome, everywhere, exploring the future if you dare. DNA is dancing, microbes always prancing, cure for every puzzle, stars out.